Hello, everyone. Come in, and do your do nows. Say hello, drop your city and state. And if you're on Paris and Periscope, get those hearts, show some digital love, and share this on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Hit the thumbs up button so we can notify more people that I'm live. And YouTube loves the algorithm. Thank you for following me on Twitter as well. So thank you for the hearts, Instagram. Thank you for the digital love. And so Facebook, make sure you hit the thumbs up and share as well because I see the thumbs up coming in at Facebook. Also, right, if you can do both at the same time, put your city and state in because there are a lot of things that I can share with you, but some of it will only pertain to or be applicable to certain people in certain states and certain cities. And so it's always good to know what geographical location you are in. For example, with the home-based business that I'm in, they've just introduced a um, a bill, right, reduction component or part to the business, and depends on what state you're in. You can get your utilities reduced on your utility bills, um, cell phone bills, et cetera, et cetera. What other bills? Insurance bills in some cases. And so that might be applicable to what state you're in as you're coming in. Those are your do now. And also hit the thumbs up. Facebook and YouTube, Periscope and Instagram, keep showing those, hitting those hearts, giving those hearts, showing some digital love. So into the topic, right? That's the introduction part. Into the topic, I read this article by CNBC News that Americans during this pandemic have drastically shrunk their credit card debt. And why I don't think that's a good thing, right? So I'm going to share the article. You all know that if you are following me on YouTube, that you can actually see the articles in which I'm sharing because I'm able to share my screen on YouTube. So Instagram, you may not see the backdrop. So if you want to see the article as I'm reading it, you can go to my YouTube channel, Queen of Credit, or you can just be in listen mode. So everyone else will be able to listen and hear at the same, to see, listen, and hear at the same time. So again, you all show the channel some love and support by hitting the thumbs up to share with other people that I am live. So right. Okay, YouTube, I lost my connection for a few moments. So let's share. Let me pull the article up with you all. Let's break this down and dissect it. And while I'm bringing up the article, make a mind message connection. And before I read the article to you and express my opinion, do you think it's a great thing that Americans have rapidly shrunk their credit card debt during this pandemic? Yes or no? Do you think it's a great thing that Americans have shrunk their credit card debt during this pandemic? Yes or no? Hello, Princess Sunshine. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Yes or no? Do you think it's a good thing that Americans have shrunk their credit card debt during this pandemic? So let me share this. article. Okay, everything is good. So the article reads from CNBC or CNN News. Americans have rapidly shrunk, or Americans are rapidly shrinking their credit card debt during the pandemic. Americans' credit card debt is shrinking rapidly during the Rona recession. That's a sharp contrast with the last two economic downturns. The amount of consumer revolving credit, which is mostly credit cards, plunged by another $24 billion in May, the Federal Reserve said Wednesday. This costly form of debt is down more than $100 billion since hitting a record high in February, and is now below 1 trillion for the first time, right? Below 1 trillion for the first time in nearly 3 years. So I guess there are some people who are listening to Dave Ramsey when he says cut up your credit cards and pay off the debt, right? So the dwindling pile of credit card debt is yet more evidence how drastically consumer behavior is changing during the pandemic and its period of financial insecurity. In many ways, it makes perfect sense. Americans that are swiping the plastic less, the health crisis, and professional sports. That was especially true during the March-May period captured by the Fed data. Consumers had no choice but to spend less on their credit cards. CEO and chief strategist at Quill Intelligence wrote in a note to clients Thursday, not surprisingly, spending at restaurants imploded during the spring when health restrictions made eating out impossible in many parts of the nation. The 7-day average of spending, including on credit cards at big chain restaurants, was down as much as 40% in April. Wow. I'll let you know what most of Americans are doing with their credit cards. 40% down spending at big chain restaurants in April from the year before, according to Bank of America. That metric has since recovered in June to normal levels, Bank of America said. Mass unemployment, wave of bankruptcy. At the same time, Americans are wisely paying down outstanding credit card balances and avoid racking up new debt during this economic tumultuous period, right? Americans are behaving in a eminently rational fashion, chief economist said. In just the past week, major credit cards, including Brook Brothers, Neiman Marcus, and Chief State Energy, have filed for bankruptcy. Now, let me pause right here. All right, the article state again. Major companies, including Brooks Brothers, Neiman Marcus, and Chief State Energy, have filed for bankruptcy. United Airlines announced plans this week to furlough up to 36,000 employees, while Levi Strauss, and Harley Davidson detailed hundreds of job cuts. See, this is why I'm not in favor of people paying down credit card debt now. This is exactly why I'm not in favor of people paying down credit card debt now. Hundreds of job cuts, furloughed 36,000 employees. The unemployment rate surged to 14.7% in April, It has since dipped to 11.1% due to blockbuster job gains. Though that unemployment rate is still higher than at any point during the Great Recession. Anytime you hear the Great Recession and compare to what we will experience in 2020, this should cause a great deal of concern that most articles are referring to this recession in comparison to the Great Recession of 1930s. Given that backdrop, it's little surprise that Americans are pulling back on debt. The March-May period marked the first time in a decade that the overall consumer credit declined for 3 months in a row. I would have preferred if people would have been continued to stack their cash. But anyway, however, some types of debt are showing signs of life. Specifically, the amount of non-revolving credit, which is mostly student loan debt and auto loans, actually rose by $6 billion in May. Please explain to me, why would auto loan debt rise by $6 billion in a recession in May? And how can student loan debt rise if colleges and universities are closed? You know, a lot of people take out student loan debt that are not necessarily looking to be students, right? They take it out and they use that for other purposes, which I think is the worst debt to have, because student loan debt will follow you to the grave. You can't discharge it in a bankruptcy. So credit card debt typically carries punishing interest rate, even for borrowers with the strongest credit scores. The fact that this type of pricey debt, right, pricey debt is shrinking is encouraging given the economic uncertainty. However, this trend, along with surging savings rates, also reflects a broader hunkering down of Americans that is problematic for an economy that is 2/3 driven by consumer spending. The bad news for the economy, you want a confident consumer to expense her income. We're just not seeing that right now. Shrinking credit card debt also highlights the unprecedented subject being provided by Uncle Sam right now. More so, during the onset of the past two recessions, Congress and White House has taken bold steps to provide emergency relief to households and businesses via the CARES Act. And so it goes into the stimulus check of $1,200 per household in the spring, right? But the problem is that the $600 of enhanced unemployment benefits expire July 25th, 26th, right? So it's a heated debate, the article states, among economists and politicians about whether extending them at the current level or at all will discourage Americans to look for new jobs. This means the recent plunge in credit card debt may prove to be short-lived, but potentially, right, for the wrong reasons. So let me get your input on this. Is paying off student loan debt a good thing right now? I mean, not student loan, but credit card debt right now. Is that a good thing? And another thing, I want to inform you all on YouTube, Princess, the question you're asking is a consulting question. If any questions from now on my live stream are consulting questions, you're going to have to give a $10 or more super chat in order for me to respond to that question. So I don't know. I can't really answer that. That depends on your knowledge on how to dispute capital One. It depends all on your knowledge base. So why the push for paying off credit card debt right now when people don't know their economic future, when the economy doesn't look good? And I have at least 3 reasons why people should not fear credit card debt. Number one is non-collateral debt, meaning that no collateral that can be repossessed, like a vehicle or like a house that can be foreclosed upon, is attached to that debt, right? Number two, unlike student loan debt, you can include credit card, even charge cards or department stores cards in bankruptcy, which is not an option for student loan debt. Number three, oftentimes banks will negotiate with you if you have, right, exactly, on Instagram. If you are unable to pay back on that debt, or even if you default on that debt, oftentimes the banks will negotiate with you to pay off a third of the debt, or sometimes even worse than that. So even if credit cards, and this usually does not happen unless it's an account that has about $10,000 or more. But sometimes credit cards, the banks will take you to court for the unpaid debt. And even in court, you can offer here, or you can offer to pay less or negotiate, or even sometimes before the court date. So, and I also have a fourth one for you. So even through negotiation, if you negotiate to pay lesser because of economic situation than the amount owed, right? And you should always get that in writing when you negotiate, not just via phone, that if a charge off is reported as a result, if you're trying to do it yourself, have the right knowledge of the laws of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, can get that mark removed or deleted, that account, if it's reporting inaccurately. And let me give you a fifth thing as well. Sometimes credit card debt will be sold to debt collectors, right? And if you know the laws of the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act, then if the debt collector does not have proper validation, then legally you will not owe as well. So I just gave you 5 reasons why I don't see anyone should fear credit cards. And as my Instagram follower said, unsecured debt should be the last to be fixed. This is another reason why I'm not, flipping tables and decided that consumers have paid off credit card debt, because they could very well pay off these debt, and the bank still may close their account or lower their credit limit. So now you may not have that card or that credit available for times of emergencies in the event that something's goes south with your job. And again, unemployment ends in approximately 2 or 3 weeks. And so now you don't have cash flow coming in, and you might not have access to credit or credit cards in particular in times of emergencies. And now you put all of that money that could have been your reserve for your essential bills and essential living, your rent or your mortgage, and things of that nature, towards a credit card debt that's not even open or available, right, for you to use anymore. That's why the least concern bill that I would ever be concerned about, given all the information I just shared with you, is unsecured credit card debt. Because there are so many different ways, right, to help you and assist you when it comes to just that particular debt that you don't have with other debts. Everything else may have collateral attached, may result in repossession or foreclosure. That's not the case with credit card debt. And so I would even question how many banks would even take, anyone to court right now over an unpaid balance, right? If you have a high balance, being that the court systems are really delayed, because of this pandemic. So would I would have paid something, on it, or maybe got it at 30, 20% low on utilization? I would, but I would not have through my cash reserves unless I had cash reserves set up to last me for 6 months to a year, being in the event that I lost job and or I would have a delay in having any type of cash flow or income coming in. So let me read the comments. The more people consume and incur debt, the better it is for the 1% who own majority of shares in those companies or subsidized listed on Wall Street are not made by Americans. Okay, that's a comment saying hello. Someone is saying, okay, I set up payment plan to avoid collections with capital one, I'm assuming. Wow. Sometimes it's best that if you know the Fair Debt Collection laws that your debt is sold to a debt collection, because then you have 30 days to make them validate. And if they don't have legal validation under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, you won't owe the debt. So sometimes your debt being sold to a debt collection, once you have the knowledge behind it, is a blessing in disguise. Credit card debt should only be assumed if you are going to leverage borrowing to make money. Otherwise, it ruins your FICO score and makes you poor. The credit card debt does not make you poor. Your usage of the credit card can make you poor. How you use credit, and specifically credit cards, can make you poor. Let me explain some things of why I love credit cards. Why I love credit cards. Number one, credit cards are the only type of lines of credit that I know that would give you 0% interest rate up to a year. Credit cards. That's number one. The only loan or lines of credit that I know that if you have good credit, you can get 0% interest rate for up to a year, and in some cases, a year to 6 months. Number two, why I love credit cards. Credit cards can be converted into cash, right? Credit cards can be converted into cash at 0% interest rate. Number three, why I love credit cards, because it's revolving, which means you can, as you deposit your money in it. I even tell some people you can deposit your paycheck into a credit card. How do I deposit a paycheck into a credit card? Well, when your paycheck hits your bank account, transfer that money to the credit card, which also is a chess move that keeps the balance low, right, on a monthly basis. Let me give you this story. I have a coworker who was almost at an 850. He have had a perfect 850 credit score, but his credit fluctuates. And one of his strategies that he and his wife were using with their credit card is they both would deposit their paycheck directly into the credit card. Paycheck parking. Meaning when their paychecks hit their banks in direct deposit, they would then transfer their checks into the payment of the credit card. They will use the credit card then for everything like a debit card. So they became their own bank through credit card. Now, while they're using this, they left enough cash in their checking account to pay their mortgage with, because they could not pay their mortgage with the credit card. Every other bill they have, they paid through credit card. And at that time, when traveling was in, one of the ways they took advantage of that was they had a good travel rewards credit card, and their family will accumulate enough travel points that they will have a free vacation to Disney with their young kids every year for 7 days. And that was how their credit card paid them. Some people prefer cashback rewards. I prefer the cashback reward credit cards. Okay, question on Instagram. Can I file for bankruptcy if I own a car? Yes, you can file for bankruptcy if you own a car. And one of the good things about filing for bankruptcy when you own a vehicle or you own a car is whatever that blue book value for the vehicle at that time is. So let's say you got into a bad loan because you had bad credit and you got a vehicle at 18% interest rate. So you haven't really paid the principal of the loan, right? You've only paid the interest on it at that point. And so now you owe more on the vehicle than what it's worth. When you do that, file it through a bankruptcy, you will get the blue book value at the time for the vehicle. So that prevents you from overpaying. And whatever the standard rate is as far as the ongoing rates to finance used vehicles. One thing I saw with Navy Federal, for example, if you refinance with them and if you qualify credit wise, you can refinance a used vehicle loan. People, check this out, at 1.9%. That's with good credit. But if you have bad credit and you want to keep a vehicle, then that's not a bad thing. I just hope that vehicle. That's why I never buy brand new vehicles. I always purchase used, because it's not a good investment, right? It's never a good return on your money. And that's why I never use my cash money to buy vehicles. I always use the bank's money, because at 1.9%, for example, on a loan, me using my cash money that to buy a depreciating asset would not give me a great return on the best investment when I can use the bank's money or credit union money for cheap. Did you all know, for example, that cash is the lowest yielding asset at 0.03%? Let me type it in. That's why banks don't pay you anymore like they did our grandparents, 6 to 8%. To have a savings account in the bank. They don't even want to hold your money. They're trying to lend it out, because banks don't want cash. Banks want cash flow, right? Lowest yielding asset. In the entire world. In the entire world. At 0.03%. The lowest yielding asset in the entire world at 0.03%. All right, someone said, I paid off my credit card debt in order to free up my capital because I was paying like $2,000 a month. Wow. Now you have that capital to invest in gold. Well, in that case, if you can free up $2,000 a month, right, and which will also increase your credit score by paying off your credit card debt, which is revolving debt versus installment debts or fixed loan account, then that was not a bad move if you know that you will have a job or income in this recession. But I'm just curious, what did you buy with those credit cards or purchase with those credit cards that put you in a position that you were paying $2,000 a month on the balance of those credit cards? All right, so let me look at the other statements. I paid the cards off of my FICO score. It will always increase your FICO score when you pay off credit card debt versus installment loan debt, right? And that's because the incentive to have low credit card debt means more on your credit card score because, again, they don't want you to rush to pay off installment loans because banks, whether it's a vehicle loan or a mortgage or a personal loan, banks know that most people would prefer to think that they're paying low interest on a mortgage because they're getting a 3.7% deal, when actuality, low interest for a long time, you pay back more than higher interest for a short period of time, right? If you are, and I know on Instagram this is gonna be flipped, but for everybody else that's watching, if you look behind me, $136,000 mortgage, even at 3.75% interest, is $510,000 payback. That's already this is what you will pay back over 30 years if you did nothing else to that mortgage. So it's already front loaded. Any mortgage is already front loaded with interest. So when you divide that by 12, right? And this fluctuates. It will fluctuate. The interest will fluctuate because as you are paying on it, you will eventually start paying more down on the principal amount of the loan. But by the year, divided by 12, and you pay $425 in interest out of a mortgage that may be at $1,275. So 425 of that is going towards the interest. All right. So other comments. Okay. I have a credit card that is not giving balance transfer check. Okay. Well, find other credit cards that are giving balance transfer checks if you have a good credit score. My Chase 15-month 0% is up next month. Should I pay off the balance at $6,000 or just pay the monthly premium? All right, Melanie, if you want me to answer that, give us super chat because that's more like a consultation question. Now, I need you to teach me how to get an 850 FICO. All right, throw a super chat and I'll answer that question. Another question, should you pay down debt of $20,000 if you have, but hold on, let me go back to this question. How to teach to get an 850 FICO. Answer the question, why do you want an 850 FICO score? And I may answer it. Somebody did the laughing emoji. I'm serious. I come on live to give you my time and my knowledge, but I'm not going to give you free consultation, right? Because if having this knowledge is going to help you financially, then you need to invest in it. See, one of the reasons why most middle class don't become millionaires. I see you on Instagram because they don't want to invest. They believe in free.com. They think everything should be free. They don't understand. I reread the scripture today in the Bible, the number one best-selling book on prosperity, that says, if you give, it shall be given unto you. In good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men, it didn't say Jesus, men give unto your bosom. The problem with that, the reason why you're not receiving more money from people is because you don't give. That's the law of the universe. In order to get, you have to give. And it says, shall men give into your bosom, not an angel, not an earthly being, not Jesus raining down from the heavens and making a mistake of depositing $2,000 into your checking account. You have to give in order for men to give back. So I'm getting out of the habit of people just coming in and asking questions that people will pay me to answer for them. So some of these questions are financial consulting advice, and you're going to have to give a super chat to get an answer to. If you don't know what a super chat is, you have to tune in on my YouTube. Should you pay down debt of $20,000 if you have 2 years worth of emergency funds? What type of debt is it? What type of debt is it? And just know that cash flow is stronger than cash stacking, because even if you have 2 years worth of emergency funds, and I'm saying we, the United States, could possibly enter into a hyperinflation, right? What is a hyperinflation? Because we have a coin, so they say, a coin shortage. A coin shortage, which means, we may enter into a cashless society. So they're saying the United States have a coin shortage. And what that means is, whereas a company was paying you or charging you $1.50 for a product or service, they're just going to round it up to $2, right? Because we don't have the coins to give you. So this is going to cause hyperinflation. And now, when everything is rounded up, because we have a coin shortage, the next thing is going to be a shortage of $1 bills, $5 bills, right? So now with hyperinflation and prices, how long, you say you have 2 years worth of emergency funds, but you don't know if that's 2 years worth of emergency funds, because you don't know how high pricing will increase during this recession. What you thought would last you 2 years may in actuality last you 1, right? So Jesus says, 850 just to flex. Your 780 gets you the same race as someone. Jesus answered that question for you for free. So you can tell Jesus thank you. Can you pay your bills through credit cards? That's a great, great question. Your profile picture look like you're a young man. I don't know if you're young or not, but I'm glad young people are tuning in. Yes, you can. Now, you may have, and some utility companies do this anyway. If you're using a debit card, they may charge you a fee, a small fee for using credit, convenience fee or debit cards. But I pay my cell phone bill through my credit cards, my water bill, my internet, because I get cash back on that purchase. So I'm getting passive income back for using my credit card like a debit card. So any and every bill that I can pay with a credit card, I do in order to get that passive income. All right. So let me see. Okay. I didn't see your full statement. All I see is, increase my credit limit, and that should not, I don't know what you're asking about that, because that's all I see. Do you think developing a good relationship with your bank and getting a personal line of credit is cash, which is revolving and secured, can be used for velocity banking to secure whole life? And getting a personal line of credit is cash, which is revolving and secured. I have no idea. I don't understand what that question is asking. All right, so I don't know what Tawanda Lockhart asked. Oh, okay. So I answered that question. Sean says, yep. The only thing you can't file under bankruptcy is student loan. Everything else is free file. You want to know why you can't file for bankruptcy with student loans now? It's because in 2008, the Obama administration made all student loans federal. They made all student loans federal. There used to be private student loans. The Obama administration made all student loans federal. So now that all student loans federal, no court in America is going to allow you to cancel out the federal government debt. So that's why credit card debt, student loan debt is the worst debt. Hello, Justin. Hey, Queen. Question. I have a large finished basement unit on my lease that I use for office photo studio, working out as a home-based business. Sure, you sure can, Justin. You can deduct 20% of the rent cost. Justin, that's a very intellectual question. I'm glad you are understanding the power of a home-based business. As a freelancer LLC, if you'd have to bill yourself some arbitrary nominal amount, and I don't know what that means, Justin. All right. You're saying, okay. You paid off your credit card debt that was $2,000 payment because you was using a credit card like a debit card. So did you get any rewards points from them? Did you get any cashback rewards, or did you have other rewards such as points rewards or travel rewards? What type of credit cards were you using like a debit card? My credit score dropped a few points when I paid off my car loan, and it does that. But just make sure that you're looking at your true FICO score, because Credit Karma, for example, will show your credit score dropping because Credit Karma is Vantage score, and banks and lenders do not use Vantage scores. And so with Credit Karma, your average age, but your true FICO scores calculate your payment history. So a lot of people says my credit score dropped because they look at their Credit Karma and they don't look at their true FICO score. So one of the ways to look at your FICO 8 score, which is just one of your FICO scores, you have a lot of FICO scores, is you can get a free account on Experian.com. That's the FICO 8 scoring model. And you can really determine just from Experian, it won't show TransUnion, I'm fine, thank you, or Equifax, right? Because not only do you have different credit scores, you have different credit companies or businesses, which your scores will vary as well. And while I'm on that topic, let me make this announcement to you all. TransUnion is stating that there will be a delay in credit restoration through them because their offices in Philippines and out of state call centers because of this Rona are temporarily shut down. And there's one thing I want you all to know too, that these are big businesses. They are $billion businesses. TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian is not federal at all. They're not called credit bureaus. They are credit agencies. When you hear the name bureau, you think of federal, you think of government, right? So they're big $billion businesses, and they have out-of-state call centers outside the United States with foreigners that can barely interpret what you're trying to say in relation to your credit. And that's by design as well. So you will have a delay in, especially with TransUnion, in response to your credit. I told you all that FICO 10 would be here. And Equifax, one of the style tactics that they are doing that I'm seeing most commonly is that people are sending in their identification information, and 2 weeks later they will get a letter from Equifax asking them to resubmit that information again. So these are just style tactics. In August, you're going to see a lot of people that are not aware that their credit score has dropped because they don't have any type of monitoring system. And in August, they're going to try to depend on their credit, and they're going to realize right when they're trying to apply for something to get denied that, whoa, my credit score dropped. And I didn't know it dropped 50 points. And then you have the delays coming from TransUnion, Equifax. Now, Experian is still good as far as responding, but a lot of people should know that Experian is better if you create that free account with them online, and they will update you online concerning your credit disputes and your credit results. You have to go online and check that, though, however. All right, another question. I borrowed from my line of credit to pay a whole life insurance policy and pay back the money before due date and statement closing date. And I can borrow against it to use it later as collateral. Why would you borrow from your line of credit to pay a whole life insurance policy? If you don't have the cash flow without borrowing to get a whole life insurance policy, I would question if you can afford that policy at this time in your life. Go ahead and let go. Oh, thank you so much. I give a ton of information several times a week, and I ask a lot of questions that people would pay somebody to answer for them if they value getting direction of what to do. All right. Wendell Williams said, you're ready to join. Wendell, are you speaking of the home-based business? How much of one's credit history does entities like Credit Karma and Credit Sesame use to determine one's credit score? That's a great question on Instagram. That's 35% of your credit history. So that's why teaching your children or your nieces or nephews how to use credit and credit cards in particular at the age of 18 is the best thing, or one of the best things you can do for them financially and to help build their credit score, because now, right, they build that history with credit cards over years, being that the credit card is not closed or they don't default on the account and the company keep it open. And so credit cards are your best tools to recycle and reuse your money, as well as the secret, someone asked me how to build an 850 credit score, of getting an 850 credit scores. Because at some point, that vehicle loan will get paid off, hopefully. Whether you have it financed for 3 years, people are now entering to 6 years of getting a vehicle financed. Oh my God. But anyway, I would not want to pay on the average everyday vehicle through 6 years. Unless it's some type of luxury vehicle that I know holds its value, like a Rolls Royce or something. And so, yeah, so 35%, but Credit Karma and Credit Sesame calculates it differently. With them, it's the average credit history. With My FICO, it's your payment history. You say you asked because you got 2 different scores when you inquired about a home loan. If you want to know what your true score is, if you're trying to qualify for a home loan, you need to invest in myfico.com, because MyFICO will let you know this. Your 3, 4, or 5 score is what's determined to see if you will qualify. Your credit score with the mortgage lenders will higher than Credit Karma. Okay, well, that might be because your FICO score calculates your payment history different than what Credit Karma does, right? All right, thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat and the support on YouTube. And Window, get back to me on Facebook. What are you ready to join the home-based business? Herb, what is a good cashback credit card? Should I require super chat to answer that? No. City Card, double cashback rewards is a good cashback credit card. Thank you, Mr. Mentor, driving and listening, 18-wheeler. Let me say this real quick. You all need to turn your vehicles into an academy. If you want to change your mindset, turn your vehicles into an academy. Listen to something on YouTube about how to better your financial life and or your credit while you're driving. If you still use CDs, right? Listen to CDs while you're driving. And I've gotten so aggressive in doing this that I have to force myself to listen to music now. Because sometimes I will just get in my vehicle and listen to music. I don't, just to have some type of non-thinking activity. This is how I look at music. If I've been through a lot of mental decision making during the day. But most of the time, like today, I re-listen to my Steve Harvey CD on Jump. I'm listening to something that's making me better mentally, spiritually, financially, all the time. Turn your vehicles into an academy. So that's good, Mr. Mentor. I believe in using OPM, other people's money. Give me all your unsecured debt, because when the exclamation T hits the fan, the banks gets nothing in a bankruptcy, a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and I keep my assets that are free. Mr. Sean, if people understood that about credit cards, that you can get assets with credit cards. And if you get in a position you can't pay it back, you can discharge that debt in bankruptcy, right? And keep your assets for free. People, I'm telling you, if you didn't hear anything else in this live stream, you need to pay attention to what I just said. If you use your credit card to purchase assets and you get in a position you can't repay, and you filed in the Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you keep the assets that you acquired with those credit cards. Do not come to me and say, well, Queen, I don't want to file bankruptcy. You know what? I'd rather you file bankruptcy and have some assets behind it than to file bankruptcy and keep getting these old vehicles in bankruptcy and these charge cards and department store credit cards, and you don't have any assets to show for it. You know how many bankruptcies I see that people have filed, and the only thing they got on their credit cards and department store cards that's in the bankruptcy is liabilities. Things that they couldn't get $5 for if they had a yard sale. That's all they have to show for it. So you can't come to me and say, well, you know, the rich and wealthy people, they filed bankruptcy. They filed bankruptcy to protect their assets. You don't. That's the difference between the rich and wealthy bankruptcy and most of the middle class bankruptcy or the poor working class. Right? J Star and Justin said Chase Inc. has the best points rates for utility phone and work bills. Oh, let me share. You all asked me about a good cashback rewards card. I forgot about this one. No, I'm not sure if it's cash back. Let me read this. Let me pull up my email. But you definitely need to get balance transfer with it. If I can find that email. Let me find it. This is the most recent email I got about this great balance transfer card. I didn't put a star by that. Because I can't find the email right now. I find that email, I'll let you all know towards the end and give you that card info. Oh, here it is. No, that's not it. Let me try one more time to search it. If not, I'll just do an entire different live stream on this. I can't find it right now for some reason because this was just impromptu, but I definitely got to find it. Email about a good balance transfer card. All right. With FICO score 730, 730, 730, do I need a consultation? I don't know. What are you trying to do, hon? I don't know. What are you trying to do with your credit? Instagram, my time is ending. My clock is ticking. Only a minute left. So if you want to join me on Facebook, right? I mean, YouTube under the Queen of Credit. Join me on YouTube. So let me know what you're trying to do. And I can answer that for you. Let me upload this video real quick. Is it good to have all 3 credit scores good or just one? All 3, because you never know what bank will pull from which credit agency for whatever purposes you're trying to do, financial loans or accounts you're trying to invest in. Thank you so much. Thanks for these live chats. Does depositing my check into a credit card account increase my limit? No, it will not increase your limit. It will decrease your, let me say it this way. What that does is if you have any free cash flow, let's say you have $500 left over at the end of the month, by the time you pay your living expenses and your bills, right? If you're using your credit card at 0% interest or anything else, then what this does is it gives you a strategy through your increased cash flow to pay down that account right? If you're using it for a financial tool or strategy, right? And so that extra cash flow will pay down the balance sooner. And then and also you all, you can call and ask for your due date, even though I highly recommend you pay your credit cards on the statement dates to keep your credit score. But you can call and request that their due date be changed or adjusted. Like all of my due dates on my credit cards are the 28th of every month because I know I'm going to pay on the statement date. And so I set the due date at the end of the month to build up my cash flow. So if you have, for example, let's say you're using 0% interest credit card balance transfer to pay down your mortgage faster, then that extra cash flow that you have left over will pay down that balance faster, enabling you to pay down that balance. And then what happens is every time you deposit your paycheck by transferring it from your banking account to your credit card, that counts as a payment, right? So the beauty of that is not only do you get to recycle and reuse that as the balance is going down in the event that you need it for emergencies, but now by depositing your paycheck or paychecks into your credit card lines of credit, you're getting more out of it versus just depositing your money into a banking account because you might have cashback rewards. That deposit now counts as a payment and you're getting passive income. Whereas if you're doing it just through a banking account, you're making deposits to a banking account using your debit card and you're not getting any incentives behind it. Now, to Wanda, I know you're listening, to Jesus, and he gives great advice, but I can say this: free advice may not always be the best advice. Like I say, everybody wants free, and I think Jesus is giving you great advice. But one thing again that the middle class don't do to become millionaires is they don't want to invest in professional services. Another thing that middle class don't do to become millionaires, like they will not, the majority or some, right? I'm not putting everybody in the same basket. They will not invest in professional tax advice and professional tax help. They'll let Kiki, their cousin down the street, do their taxes. The poor working class get $6,000-$7,000 back, and they can be getting more money out of their paycheck and getting their tax return. But they don't want professional tax advice. They want free or, whatever. But like I said, that Bible scripture also says not only that if you give, it shall be given unto you, shall men give unto your bosom, but it also says that whatever measure you meet, whatever measure you give out, the same measurement. I wish I had a measuring visual in my hand. The same amount will be measured what man give back to you. So a lot of people take free and run with it. And sometimes free advice can be the most expensive advice you can take. You got to change your mindset. You got to be willing to invest in a super chat when somebody is trying to assist you professionally, or you got to sow into that person if they're willing to answer your question for free. If you want to really get and retain what that person is giving you, because I can answer this for you, right? I can answer your questions. And if you don't give or in the church, they call it sowing. If you don't give into it, you won't even retain the information, or you won't even be able to comprehend the information. You won't be able to comprehend the information. I can tell you exactly what to do, and you're like, I don't really understand it, because you won't give to receive. You won't be able to comprehend it. You're like, she explained and answered my question, but you have to give into people's gift to understand and comprehend what they are saying. Thank you so much Shahid for the $50 super chat. My brother, thank you so much. I appreciate. Yes, you all. Thank you, J Star. Get the likes up. 124 people watching. Okay, so you're telling me you're trying to see if you need a consultation because your goal is to purchase a home. And you're telling me that you have the credit scores, which is 730, and 7, or in the other one that qualifies you credit wise to purchase a home. So at this point, honey, Tawanda, I don't know what the mishap is. Oh, so I guess you're asking me, I don't know, should you pay off your credit card or whatever? Tawanda, I'm a little confused. So let me go to the other questions. Thank you, King, for that $50 super chat. And my queen or King, Kim, D8050 for the $20 super chat. All right, the home-based business link is, let me find it. I'm gonna have to do a separate video on the home-based business, but they just made some announcements tonight that will absolutely blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind. That they have now added a bill reduction component of it that can save you on your everyday bills, as well as save you in taxes, right? Because this is my definition. I thought of a new definition of cash flow today. And this is the link window for the home-based business. Thank you so much for the $5.55 super chat and the $9 super chat. Let me find this. And I'm going to share this link. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all donating and supporting the channel. Thank you, Angel and Sophia. I thank you so much. So that's the link for the home-based business, www.ly/MWR home-based business. And once you enroll, I will send you a welcome email and text, add you to the private Facebook group, notify you of the trainings. It's just a great thing to have right now. So, Jesus, thank you so much. I need to sow into Jesus because he helps me so much into my live stream. So, Jesus, what's your super chat? Jesus, put your super chat up. I do appreciate that. So Jesus help you with that, Tawanda. City card is good for balance transfer 0%. Let me see. Maybe it went to my other email, but I don't want to share this with you all. And I don't have the email to show you. So when I find the email about this balance transfer card, then I'll do a live stream on it. But I wasn't prepared to discuss that. Oh, okay, I found it. It was to my other email address. So let me discuss this real quick. Let me forward this. I told my friend guy, I know he's going to make fun of me because I told him, I said, I'm not going to be over an hour on my live stream. But he's going to tell me tomorrow, yes, you did. And I got to help people. We are in we're in a recession. So thank you all so much for those super chat. Sean said, understand what earning before interest, taxes, depreciation. Sean, come on now. we got advanced and beginners on here. But Sean, I'm gonna let them see this for the beginners. For the advanced people. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. This is why business owners used to cash out when they sell their business for millions. Sean, let me share this with them right quick on that topic. And I'm going to leave the home-based business up for my man. I think he got it as I share this screen, but I'm going to leave it up for him because he asked me twice. On another note, what Sean is saying about business owners, I want you all, whether you're watching live now in the replay, I want you to put in the chat why most middle class don't become millionaires. I want you to make a mind message connection, right? Why most middle class do not become millionaires. You all type that in for me. No, Jesus, I didn't say super chat. I said Cash App. Thank you, Tawanda, for the $15 super chat. So keep typing because I want to make sure that I get your question clear and with an understanding. Yes, you all, please share the broadcast. So whether you're watching this now live on the replay, I want you to type in this message. I want you to type this in the comment, right? It'll save me from typing. Why most middle class do not become millionaires. Why most middle class, I need you all to type this in for me. Make a mind message connection. Do not become millionaires. Let me show you all this when I shared on my Facebook. This is with my millionaire mentor, Brian Bean, today. This is the home-based business. And my caption is, you cannot get richer solo. You must leverage other people. My millionaire mentor, Brian Bean, Chestnut Checkers, hashtag. I received this text today that someone had been promoted in my home-based business to a financial director. And I did not recognize the name, right, directly, the person's name. So I text Brian. And let me tell you something. You all see the battery life that was on my phone. To have access to a millionaire is the first thing you need to do if you want financial freedom. Because that mindset, that culture is what you need. Now, some people join the home-based business and for whatever reasons, they may end the membership, they don't continue, whatever. And I send text messages to the team, the people that join me, about our training, and they would send me a text sometimes and say, hey, opt me out. Don't include me in future text messages. And I'm like, I would have stayed opt-in whether I was a member or not, because it takes a mindset to be an entrepreneur. So a lot of people look at my credit coaching and consulting business right now, and they look at it, she's doing her own business, but she's telling us to be a part of a home-based business, but she has her own business. What you all don't know is I was in the home-based business 3 years before I started my own business, because that was the training and mindset that I need to make it or to be successful when I did branch out. And I never stopped doing my home-based business. I never stopped being connected with him, because the mindset and the culture is different. So I text Brian and said, you did this? This is how you leverage other people to become richer. And he said, yep, you close. I'm structuring you. I said, thank you so much, Lord, if people understood leveraging. He's structuring me so I can earn more income in my home-based business. This is my video I even put on YouTube. I wonder how many views I have on it about my mask. But anyway, this is what I want to share with you all. Magic Johnson, multimillionaires use credit, yet the middle class run from it. I'm going to say this again. This is my caption. Multi-millionaires use credit, yet the middle class, right, run from it. This is why it's hard for the middle class to become millionaires. Because, as Malcolm X would say, you've been brainwashed, you've been bamboozled by a multimillionaire himself to tell you to cut up your credit cards. And he's so adamant against credit card debt, but yet he accepts credit cards as payment for his products. So Magic Johnson goes on to explain this video how he got rejected 4 times but got approved the 5th time for $50 million. So multimillionaires and billionaires and billionaire companies understand the power of leveraging credit and using the bank's money. But the middle class and the poor working class have a fear of debt. I asked a lady or a person on one of my live streams, I said, why are you afraid of credit card? She said, because I'm afraid of bills. I said, ma'am or sir, do you understand that credit card has the least repercussion of all the loans you can get? Credit card has the least repercussions if you're in a situation where you can't repay. And credit cards is the only loans that you can get at 0% interest rates, and you convert it into cash to get assets with. People perish because of a lack of knowledge. I think going forward, though, because you don't want to be seen as inconsiderate or rude, I would go easier on the response you're making, because at the end of the day, this is your business. Depends on other people, word of mouth. Now, word of mouth for me will never be harmful because I get results. So I appreciate you. A lot of people that don't do live streams, you can do your live streams the way you want to when you do it. But I know when I'm giving consulting advice, if you don't ever put a price on see, this is another way middle class think. If you don't ever value your time and your knowledge, you'll never be rich. See, the poor working class and middle class watch more television, right, than and have least books in their house than any other class in America. So appreciate the comment, appreciate you being open, and but this is my channel, and as Frank Sinatra said, I'm going to do it my way, right? Why do middle class, see, you can not like me, but you can't ever challenge my results. And I'm not being cocky or arrogant. I'm very confident in what I do in the credit world and how I help people with their credit. So, and on top of that, is not many people on YouTube that's even offering those services anymore. So I'm still a rare commodity in this credit industry. Why do most middle class do not become men? Thank you for the comment. Exactly. I tell my clients the biggest brands of the world are word of mouth for over half of the century because people were influenced and it carried through generations. Yeah, that's why middle class don't become millionaires. They think that people should give them something for free. For me, was because I didn't understand the value of using credit and asset. I do not thank you. You are welcome. You are welcome. Trying to keep up with the Joneses. Ego. Yeah, you can't get richer keeping up with the Joneses. The Joneses are filing bankruptcy. I can promise you that. On liabilities, not assets. They're filing bankruptcy on liabilities and not assets. Financial freedom, this is a great question. My definition of financial freedom, I just posted it today on my Facebook. And I think I posted it on my YouTube channel as well. Financial freedom is not or does not just consist of debt freedom, right? Or being debt free. If you don't believe me, go ask a homeless person or ask an elderly person working at Walmart. Financial freedom is about having the money to live the way you want. It's not how much you need to survive, it's how much you need to live, right? So financial freedom means more than being debt free. It's about having the money to live the way you want. It's not how much you need to survive, it's how much you need to live. Right? Everybody want to do boss things, but they don't want to put in that boss work. Fake it before you make it. I'm fine, Teresa. Thanks for asking. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna do it my way. My way works. My way works. You're right, Sean. Robert Kiyosaki. And let me tell you, everyone is not my target market. Everyone is not my target market. If you don't want more money and to use credit to create more cash flow, and if you're not willing to invest in it, you expect it to come free.com, then that's not my target market. And I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine with it. Yes, savers are losers because cash is the lowest yielding asset. And oftentimes people ask me about the stock market as well. And this is why I trade in the stock market, and I don't look for the stock market for long-term investing. Number one, if it has shown you over the years that whatever money you accumulate from it, during economic recess or recessions, you always lose, right? But when you put money into stocks, you have no control over your money. No control over your money, right? So that's why I always trade in the stock market. My link again, fixing my credit, or my website is www.fixmycreditandcash.com. Fixmycreditandcash.com and select credit help. And those are the beginning steps to get you started. Start with a credit consultation, a small investment of $75. And then I'm changing to 5 business days because my clientele has picked up. And that's what I have to extend it. But 5 business days for me, or sooner, but depends on the traffic. 5 business days, and you will receive your credit analysis, instructing you, right, what needs to be done to help you improve and enhance your credit. All right, so I also, told you I was going to share this credit card with you, offer with you. Can you join the home-based business if you're employed? Yes, you can. And it's great because I tell people that you want to sell ice in the summer and wood in the winter. And winter is coming, right? And people will be in desperate need of financial help. I'm not against you selling Mary Kay, but when people are broke, they don't care how they makeup or lip gloss look. I'm not against you selling weight loss tea, but when people are broke, they're not caring about how much weight they're gaining or losing, right? Now they're caring about how they're gaining or losing the weight. The very first thing that people care about in recession is their money or loss of income and their essential needs being met and their living expenses. And this is what this business offers. It offers you credit help. It offers people whose hours have been reduced, who are still blessed to have jobs. Recession proof products, discount on bills. They can get a paycheck increase from anywhere to, let me see, $300 on average to $300 to $600. And who wouldn't need a $600 increase or a $300 increase out of their paycheck? What if one spouse loses a job and the other spouse or partner is able to get $300 to $600 more out of their paycheck and get your credit score, improve your credit score so you can get low interest rate loans? You all do know that the lower your credit score is, the higher interest rates you pay, right? The higher your credit score is, the lower interest rate you pay, or 0% interest rate. So if you want additional cash flow and you want to be able to help people improve their credit and get more money out of their paychecks and save on their bills and utilities. And again, cash flow, this is my definition of cash flow. I wrote it down because I changed it today. I think I wrote it down. Cash flow is the amount of money you make, how frequently you make it, and how you make it, and how much you make. Let me say that again. Cash flow is the amount of money you make, how frequently you make it, meaning do you get paid once a month, twice a month, every week, bi-weekly? How you make it. Do you just have job income or do you have passive income? Do you have business income? And how much you make. Meaning, are you in a position where you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck? Or as Dr. Lynn Richardson said, paycheck to Monday, meaning you get paid Friday and Monday you're broke. So that's my new definition of cash flow, right? Thank you, Teresa. She said, I'm not being cocky, I'm being correct. Thank you. It is my channel. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you all at the end of the day, right? I love alliterations. I'm not cocky, I'm just correct, right? All right, so this is the credit card. Thank you all for staying all the way to the end, because I usually, because these live streams can get long, give you some bonuses at the end that will help you. Secrets, right? So let me share this with you. Why do you think shrinking credit card debt is bad? We'll just watch the replay. I discussed that in the beginning of the video, so you might came in at the tail end. I sure will, Wendell. I put the home-based business link up again. I want mentor to gain funding. I'm assuming instead you're talking about business funding. And I have a company that I use that outsource that people that want to get business funding. I have a partnership company that helps with that. I do recommend business funding for using your personal credit, starting out with business funding as leverage. So, Wendell, I will share the home-based business link again, but for right now, I mentioned about the 0% balance transfer credit card that I prefer, and I found that website. So someone asked or stated earlier that their credit card does not offer 0% balance transfer checks. This is the credit card I recommend. Bonus offer. This is your bonus offers for watching this all the way to the end, right? And you're getting it for free. That's what most people still like free, so I give you something free. The Freedom Unlimited, best freedom bonus offer. They went from 150 cash back to 200 cash back, right? You'll love to chase some freedom. So that's the link to that. The best offer ever, 200 cash back, 0% low intro APR. Also, look at the unlimited. You got to pay attention to this. 1.5% unlimited cash back. Unlimited on every purchase. So you have to read the fine print. Some, and this is how you can tell when you get a good credit card. Out of 10,000 people, card member reviews, it gets almost a 4.5 stars, almost 5-star rating. I have Chase Freedom. I love it. Now, some cashback credit cards is on certain purchases, but this is on every purchase and it's automatic. No minimum to redeem for cashback. Your cashback rewards don't expire as long as your account is open. And this is some protection that comes with it. This is why I love credit cards as well. Purchase protectors covers your new purchase for 120 days against damage or theft, up to $500 per claim, $50,000 per accident, right? So other benefits, but if you want that 0% balance transfer and you get 2 for the price of 1 in here, this is highly recommended. So wasn't this worth staying all the way into the end, people? You never know what the queen is going to give you for staying all the way to the end. This is the link again for the home-based business. Let me see, can I find it? That's the home-based business link. And so if no more questions or comment, court is now adjourned. And that's the home-based business link. You can go ahead and get started. We'll add you right into our training, throw you in a private Facebook group and help you with that. But Tawanda, I see your super chat. If you stayed all the way to the end, Ms. Lockhart, this is what I will tell you, that 2021 will be the best time to purchase homes. I think the feds are going to keep interest rates near negative or even zero. So your mortgage loans right now are cheap and they will remain cheap, but housing is still overpriced, right? And meaning that real estate is not on sale right now. Oh my God, let me see if I can share this with you all. Let me see. Real estate is not on sale right now. And if you hold on, this is why the rich get richer in recessions. See if I find my file. And I'm sharing things with you all out of my private Facebook group that I had to invest $1,400 to be a part of. So for the people that, I always about you shouldn't charge, well, I'm giving you information right now from this group that I had to invest $1,400 to be in. So I think it's well worth you making an investment through a super chat, because I paid $1,400 or I invested. Another thing middle class have to do is change their vocabulary. All right, so the administrator of this group, if you stay ready, financing folder, pre-approval updated, credit cash reserves, you ain't got to get ready. That brings the total up to 8% of home buyers who bought wrong now being delinquent. See, 4.3 million homeowners missed their mortgage payment last month. This article was June 27th. I told you that once forbearance ends between July and September, real estate will go on sale, right? As ethical investors, we don't prey on people, we pray for people. We do not hope that anyone loses their home. However, we are happy to be a solution for those who need to sell quickly at a discounted price so that they can be free to begin a new life. So you have some people that know they will lose their homes, they want to put it on the market, they can't afford it, and they will sell it for you or to you at discounted rates. So just hold on. September is not here. Some of the delinquents you'll see in September is not here yet, but it's coming. You're finding homes on sale. You're welcome, man. Yeah, blue light on real estate. Blue light on real estate. What credit score do you need to get that card? I'm sorry, it's Lynette. People, when getting approval for anything, is not necessarily about your credit score. However, I do recommend a FICO score of a six, at least a 640 or higher, right? But it's also about your credit profile. How many do you have any collections reporting charged out within the last 2 years? You need to make sure you don't have 5 or more inquiries reporting on TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And no late payments within the last 2 years. And you should be fine. You should be good. All right. Do I build retirement vehicle? Yes, they have an Equity Max program, Justin, in the home-based business that purchases land in California. Many people are rolling their 401ks into it. God is not making any new land, which is a commodity, right? And so people are rolling retirement, and they have retirement vehicles in their home-based business, in this home-based business model. Interested in getting business funding, again, your credit profile, no collections, no charge out within the last 2 years, no late payments, no inquiries, 5 or more across the board, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Now, this is different with business funding, right? This does not apply to the Chase card. This is different with business funding. You cannot have any bankruptcy reporting. Now, you can get approved with the Chase card with a bankruptcy that's 2 years old or less. It can't be a recent bankruptcy, right? But if it's older than 2 years, your odds of approval for that Chase cards are higher. But with business credit and funding, if you have any bankruptcy, no matter how old or new it is, that automatically disqualifies you. So those are some of the pros and cons of filing bankruptcy. But so if you have all of those things in place, this is the link to my partnership business that helps you apply for business funding and business credit. www.bit.ly, the biz credit. That's the link for that. And it will ask you how much funding do you want, from 50,000 to 500,000. Do you want lines of credit? But that's where your credit profile has to pre-qualify you. Those things must be in order, in place. All right, what do I think about HELOCs? So for people that may not know, HELOCs are home equity lines of credit. In a thriving recession, I think they are great. Meaning HELOCs or home equity lines of credit or second mortgages are adjustable rate mortgages. But what happens in times of recession, that rate, because it is adjustable, will or can increase, right? So you can be paying double than the rate that you got locked into upon the HELOC. And then you're in a situation where if you don't, unlike credit card debt or unsecured debt, If you don't make payment on that account or that loan, then your house or your home could be up for collateral and you can repossess or bankrupt, on that. And so during recessions, I would advise people to stay away from them. And another option is to just use credit cards, lines of credit, versus a home equity line of credit where there's no collateral attached, right? So that's the link again for that Chase Freedom Card. Is zero balance transfer checks and 0% interest rates and double cash reward bonus. Should I apply for the Citi and Chase card? My FICO at Wells Fargo is 773 and Navy Federal is 785. Again, I don't give investing advice. I tell you about the products. Your credit scores will definitely qualify. I tell you about the product if there's something that you want to take advantage of and apply for. And if you don't have 5 or more inquiries right now, because I know Chase is big on the 524 rule, meaning no more than 5 or more inquiries or inquiries or hard pull within the last 2 years or 24 months, right? So if there's something that you want to use to get assets or just for an emergency income plan, your credit score is qualified, but I don't know what your credit reports look like. So I don't know if your credit profile qualifies. So I tell people all the time, it's a difference in your credit score and your credit profile. You can have a 750 credit score, but you can have a profile that prohibits you from getting funding or that will deny you funding. So again, thanks everyone for those super chats. I'm trying to find that link again to the home-based business, but I hope you all did get that link to the home-based business to increase your credit and your cash flow, right? And I'm signing out. So here's to your peace and prosperity, your credit and your cash flow, and your health and your wealth. Queen of Credit out. You all have a great, great night, and I see you on the next live stream.